All right, Stephan, we've just filled the room with architects, designers, and cabinet planners eager to learn more about appliances because they have a lot in their own profession, but appliances are a key part of making the kitchens work. So the first question for you is, what do you wish that designers, architects, cabinet planners understood earlier in the project process as it relates to appliances?
Well, I think there's a synergy between everybody in the chain that creates this dream home and that dream picture of a kitchen. And the understanding has to be that everybody plays a role. The builder plays a role, satisfying the client, staying on budget. The designer obviously wants to put something stunning together, and the salesperson ends up with a PDF of a floor plan and then tries to make the best decisions for that client and their lifestyle and the functionality of the appliances. Function and design don't necessarily always meet in these discussions, and sometimes the budget doesn't meet. So, in order to satisfy everybody in the process, I think the biggest thing is communication. When a client comes in, sometimes they come in with a builder. That happens to be partially a different discussion than when they're coming in just with their designer. When they come in with the designer, it goes back to the builder. The builder says we're going to be over budget. So there's a fine tuning needed, and there is definitely a lot of communication necessary. And that is sometimes where it breaks down, the communication between those channels. Whereas I think our job as appliance professional salespeople is to be aware of that. When we are having a discussion just with the client, the information and the specifications have to go back to the designer with some notations. Please make your changes as you need to have. I looked on your plan. Your upper cabinets are a little bit higher than what the ventilation allows, for example. And if that is observed, then it's great. When it's not observed and cabinet or overall designers would like to get their design through, then we have to be aware that sometimes the functionality or the performance suffers.
So do you feel like, and I'm with you, communication is definitely is key. Let's say you're the salesperson on the job. Do you feel like that if you feel like communication is starting to break down, that you should take the lead?
I think you got to mitigate. You don't want to upset anybody in that lineup because we all have to work together to make this a success. And if the client is in love with the designer, then you certainly have to play ball with that. But there is absolutely no reason not to point out functions that will not perform properly if a design is not properly executed, or if that design avoids proper ventilation, proper closing of cabinets, or operation of the wall oven beside a fridge hinge that opens too far, and you can either only open the oven or you can either open the fridge. Like, we want to avoid those things, and uh, good appliance professionals have that view and mitigate and point these things out. And usually we have fantastic designers around us that listen to that advice, as I will listen to the advice of the designer.
So, as we know, designers, architects, cabinet shops, they have a lot to worry about on top of appliances. Is how can you recommend them a way to kind of stay on top of these type of things to avoid those pitfalls?
So we are very much in tune with the the specifier community. Very important is to have a road team of people that are specifically calling on specifiers and do lunch and learns, update uh, their brochure library, or point out novelties or new appliances that have come out. And the design community is usually the first that knows what is happening. They go to shows, they educate themselves, and either the questions come to us or we bring the novelty to them. But being in touch with that group of people and having regular meetings with them, and particular product presentation when something new is coming out, that is very important. When we do a product presentation for something new in the market, we always have a full house.
So your tip is get involved, get a person, a salesperson, or or a team that you're going to work with that's going to keep you involved and keep you knowledgeable on appliance topics.
That's
And
correct.
Midland takes a proactive approach to helping that community know what they need to know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent.